As you may expect, I receive a lot of questions from people via YouTube comments, Facebook comments, emails, private messages about their energy bills. And I've seen that a lot of questions are similar from various people. So I thought it'd be useful to do a video answering your questions. Here we go. Hi everyone, I'm Richard Winstone with Over 50s Money. Sorry for the slight delay in posting this video. I know I said to get it done this morning, but obviously with the British gas announcement today, there was another video I needed to post. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Over 50s Money YouTube channel if you want to keep up with the off-gym consultations or find out more about energy or how to save money. Most of the work I do on energy impacts everybody. So I know it's the Over 50s Money YouTube channel, but if you want to take control of the energy market, regardless of your age, please subscribe. Thank you. Okay, so I've received a fair few questions that I've managed to categorize into sort of groups, and I think I'll be able to answer quite quickly. The first one I want to approach is actually two questions that have the same answer, so I think it's useful to group them. So it's, why are electricity prices still linked to gas prices? And why is my electricity so expensive, even though my supplier says it's 100% green energy? And green energy is obviously cheaper to produce. And the answers to those two questions sort of tie into each other. So your energy supplier that says they give 100% green energy, they're obviously talking about electricity there. And what they mean is they will produce as much electricity as their customers use. They can't guarantee the electricity going into your house is produced through green sources, because obviously electricity is electricity. It all goes on the national grid and just goes out. But what they're committing to is producing enough green energy that year to cover the electricity used by their customers. So the electricity you're getting into your house goes through the normal pricing mechanism in the electricity market, which ties into why your electricity is related to gas prices. When National Grid, who balances our electricity system and makes sure there's enough electricity in all of our homes, when they set the prices for wholesale costs, when they ask generators to provide energy, the price has to be set at a single price. That's how our electricity market works. So all electricity, no matter how it is generated, is set at one single price. So whether it comes from a solar panel, a wind turbine, hydro pumps, gas-fueled power stations, nuclear power stations, every unit of electricity on our grid is purchased at one price by your energy supplier. And National Grid have to figure out what price to charge, and obviously they can't have generators making losses. So if they're only allowed to charge one price, they will charge the highest price, which is your gas-fueled power stations. So your electricity and gas prices are still linked because the power stations that produce our electricity are fueled by gas. So their costs have gone up dramatically, which means the price of the electricity they generate goes up massively. And when they sell that electricity to the grid, it brings everyone's prices up because there's only one price for wholesale energy. It's wholesale electricity, sorry. So the solar panel owners and the wind turbine owners and all of these other companies, those producing green energy, they may get their energy produced at a low price, which is great for them, but they sell it at the same price as gas-fueled power station electricity, which is again great for the renewable energy companies, not really great for anybody else. Another comment I get quite a lot is about renationalising UK energy. And some people have said things like, we're the only country in the world that has privatized energy, and other countries don't do this, why do we? And that sort of thing. I want to first start by saying we're not the only country in the world with privatized energy. It's quite common across Europe, Australia, New Zealand, certain states in America have privatized energy. So I know Texas does. It's quite common across the world to have their energy industries privatized now. Some countries like France, they privatized, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. And then in 2021, 2022, when the energy crisis started, they renationalised. So what they did was their main companies, EDFs, their main generator and supplier for energy, they privatised that company decades ago. But what they actually did was the government retained an 86% ownership and the right to renationalise that 14% that was privatised at any point. And during the energy crisis, they did renationalise that 14%, and it cost the country something like 5 billion euros. So that sort of shows you why it's kind of difficult for the UK government to backtrack now, because not only have they sold off the energy suppliers, but they've also sold off the transmission networks and the generators, and the cost to renationalise would be huge. I mean, France did 14% of one country, and it cost them 14% of one company, and it cost them 5 billion euros. So if the UK wanted to renationalise its entire energy industry, it would cost trillions and take years to implement. So yeah, it's a complicated issue. I do agree renationalisation would be beneficial to us as consumers, but again, it's not something that I'm tackling. I'm sort of trying to fight the fight that we're in, if that makes sense, dealing with Ofgem's price cap and improving our current situation. So yeah, I think it's a good idea. There's just nothing that we can do about it right now. The next common question I get is about standing charges. Why are people standing charges so high? And I think I've covered this in other videos, but I'm always happy to repeat information. So during the peak of the energy crisis, Ofgem started doing some consultations back before I was doing these videos, and they were looking to change some of the costs that are in unit costs and move them onto standing charges. Now, the logic of that was to bring down unit costs so that high usage households weren't as heavily impacted by the crisis. And what that's done is it's caused low usage households to be more heavily impacted by the crisis. Coming out of the crisis now, I think they should be, I don't think they should have done it in the first place, but they should definitely be reviewing and switching that back around, because if you use more energy, you should pay more. That's just the way it works. But yeah, they have no plans to change back, to go back to the old system. I think they made 3 adjustments. So 3 times they added extra costs to your standing charges and took them away from your unit costs. And that benefited high usage households during the crisis, and it's continuing to benefit them now. And it's negatively impacted low usage households. So yeah, those are the most common questions I get around sort of green energy, privatization, electricity being linked to gas prices and standing charges, why they're so high. Any consultations Ofgem do on these things, I am now posting videos on, and I'll try to work to make sure our prices come down. And you can continue to support by following the Over 50s Money YouTube channel and getting involved in the consultation processes. If you have any more questions you want me to answer, my email address is in the description below. And I think like once a week, once a month, depending on how many questions I get, I'll do another video like this where I just sit down and answer the bulk questions, if that makes sense. I hope this is helpful. Please like and subscribe to Over 50s Money. Thank you.